the probability of assembling 10,000 left-handed amino acids and 100,000 right-handed nucleotides, because you have to have, won't get into complexity, you can easily get the book at a bookstore and if you want to get up on it, but I'm speaking here kind of as to the average Joe slash, so some of this is going to be, I've got to kind of keep it on the level where everyone hopefully kind of understands. The probability of assembling 10,000 left-handed amino acids, which basically means you have to have an X amount of this left-handed versus right-handed in simple terms for things to come together, and 100,000 right-handed nucleotides is one chance in 10 to the 33,113. And just to kind of pull a quote here from Donald Page that a lot of people like Dr. William Lane Craig quote, the chance here of it forming spontaneously with all factors into consideration is 1 to the 1 instead of to 10, 1 to 10 billion, to 10 billion, to the 124th power. I mean, these numbers, 33,113, it finally concludes here. Harold Morowitz, also a microbiologist, calculated the odds of a cell randomly assembling under the most ideal conditions to be one chance in 10 to the 100 billionth power. That in 10 to the 50th is beyond scientific possibility. Beyond. Technically 10 to the 15th. But if you want to go all the way to scientific law, 10 to the 50th, which those numbers are subjective. I mean, maybe it's 10 to the 55th. But I mean, still, 10 to the 100 billionth, 1 to 10 billion to the 124th power. This is beyond possible. So to believe in this chance, literally, as a very good book that also ties into Christianity alludes to, I don't have enough faith to be an atheist. You have to have more faith to believe in this kind of chance than to believe in a loving, caring God. Again, could Mount Rushmore have been made by thousands of years of wind, rain, and erosion? It's possible. But is it logical? Well, Mount Rushmore forming by chance seems unlikely. But the code in chromosomes is more complex and holds more information than all the computer programs ever written by man combined. So DNA makes Mount Rushmore look like, 1 plus 1. DNA is like a software program, but it's much more complex than anything we've been able to design, said Bill Gates. IBM models its newest computers after DNA. The quantity of information is so vast, we have to invent new numbers to measure it. Not just terabytes, but petabytes, exabytes, yottabytes, zettabytes, all the words ever uttered by everyone who ever lived would amount to about 5 exabytes. That was Time Magazine, February 2003. So the DNA is beyond complexity. So to just say, well, it happened by chance, is just crazy. I mean, that is talk about blind faith. And again, cracking the code. Here is Francis Collins, who worked on the Human Genome Project. And here's his book, Scientist Presents Evidence for Belief, The Language of God, talking about this genome and DNA. And how he says, hands down, God exists. He says this is beyond comprehension, and this drew him, DNA just pulled him more into saying, oh wow, theism hands down. Well, you could say that's just his opinion. Okay, you're exactly right. And again, that's why I'm saying not force-feeding anything on anyone. So let's take a very quick video. Again, thank you, Discovery Institute, at exactly kind of, again, what I've talked to about the chance of life in simpler terms, and experts talking, not an average Joe. How much more complicated is a cell of life than Mount Rushmore? Let's find out.
With computer animation, we can enter the cell to view this remarkable system at work. After entering the heart of the cell, we see the tightly wound strands of DNA, storehouses for the instructions necessary to build every protein in an organism. In a process known as transcription, a molecular machine first unwinds a section of the DNA helix to expose the genetic instructions needed to assemble a specific protein molecule. Another machine then copies these instructions to form a molecule known as messenger RNA. When transcription is complete, the slender RNA strand carries the genetic information through the nuclear pore complex, the gatekeeper for traffic in and out of the cell nucleus. The messenger RNA strand is directed to a two-part molecular factory called a ribosome. After attaching itself securely, the process of translation begins. Inside the ribosome, a molecular assembly line builds a specifically sequenced chain of amino acids. These amino acids are transported from other parts of the cell and then linked into chains often hundreds of units long. Their sequential arrangement determines the type of protein manufactured. When the chain is finished, it is moved from the ribosome to a barrel-shaped machine that helps fold it into the precise shape critical to its function.